Okay, now we're looking at page 8, July 14th, 1972. And this is part of the Oregon Board of Education records. And the commission on, whether it be the textbook commission or other themes that the Oregon Board of Education was dealing with. But one of the things that I'd like to point out here is that it says here that the districts that were outlined for implementation of the Dignity and Worth document were the following: Pendleton, Chiloquin, Ontario, Anissa, Madras, Woodburn, and Portland. Under that, of course, you have the evaluation was to take place by the staff of the Intergroup Human Relations Commission. Now, I sit here and I cannot believe this because the Intergroup Human Relations Commission was comprised of lay people that were appointed by the State Superintendent of Public Instruction. And yes, yours truly was part of that experience. But I have not been here before in this particular part of the archives of Oregon, and I can only say that the more that I look into it, the more that I am, one, encouraged by the early efforts of the late 60s and early 70s. But when you think of the population in 2013 and all the things that were tried in the early stage, one has to generate many, shall we say, constructive questions. And those questions are going to be dealt with in our text and also in our webpage, www.texmex.org, because I feel like we have a responsibility to make sure that we include the story, the storyline that really begins the conversation back in the 50s even, on English as a second language, some phases of multicultural education, and moreover, the what I call the genesis, or that is level 1 development of bilingual education, State of Oregon, 1969. Which was really a period of innovation. So, Lydia, it's interesting that because you were also part of that effort as a secretary, and I read this and I really cannot believe it. And without being negative, I especially cannot believe that the leadership of the state of Oregon with respect to education have little awareness about this decade of what I would call education innovation. So I'm hopeful that once we put this thing together, this research project, that it can reach not only the general community, but it also reach the professional community, because as I read this, I read it and I have to say that I believe it because I was there. However, if I was a newcomer, either as a resident to the state of Oregon, or especially as an educator, I would have to wonder, as I read the themes and the people involved, I would have to wonder, how did these people do it? What were the pluses? What were the challenges? And it'll take some time for this research to evolve, but it's all here. So I think that the Oregon Archives is going to be a place that I will return many a time. And but I have been advised by my wife that we have to go back home. Before we go back home, let me just say that on this Monday, September 30th, 2013, we have made a new discovery. And this discovery will probably generate a few pages of story, some audio, video testimonials of that particular stage of our development. And I'm hopeful that in years to come, due to our digital age, that this information will be, part of, if not the Oregon archives at this point in time, it will be part of our personal library, which will be embedded in our webpage, TexMex or USA.org. And before we go back to our office at home, let me just say that the word, the acronym that we have selected for our website, TexMex or USA, represents basically 4 different concepts. Tex, T-E-X, which represents Texas or Texas, Mex, M-E-X, which represents Mexico or Mexicans, O-R, which represents Oregon, and then of course USA, which is pretty much self-explanatory, United States of America. When we began to brainstorm the name for our website, this became really kind of like on the 11th hour with a cup of coffee, having been experimenting with various acronyms. One morning, after a cup of coffee, why there was a brainstorm in the Salinas residence, and lo and behold, the ring of Tex-Mex or USA was the winner after about 20 acronyms. Is that correct, Lydia? Mm-hmm. So this is Miguel Amezcua Salinas, a retired educator. Now 2013, I can't believe that I've been in Oregon for 60 plus years, but it's been a treat to be here at the Oregon Archives, and I hope that later on you will have a chance to not only read but also listen to the testimonies of many folks, which by the way includes students who were in the bilingual program, parents who had their kids in the bilingual program, believe it or not, school board members who guided the school district, the Woodburn School District, 1969 through 78, through the Title VII ESCA bilingual program, and some staff. So how lucky can you get on this on the last day of September? And one of the objectives that we have for our research, let me add, is that we will be sharing some of this information through our website, but especially we're going to be sharing this information on October 12th, Columbus Day, or Dia de la Raza, in Woodburn, at the Wellspring Conference Center there in Woodburn, where we will be entertained and where we will be meeting with friends and families that go back more than a half a century ago. And one of the topics is going to be the genesis of bilingual education in Marion County. The other 2 items have to deal with the Fiesta Mexicana, Woodburn 1964 to 2009. And then above all that, like a parasol or like an umbrella, we're going to be talking about our migratory life, 1943 to 1960. A period of evolution, a period of change, and a period of a foundation that has been established for those who came after us. Thank you so much, and we're going back home, and we're saying hasta luego de aquí, del edificio, from the building of Oregon Archives, Salem, Oregon. Thank you.